What's going on, guys? This is Empty Box, and this is Dirt Rally, where today we're going to be talking about the recently released Flying Finland update, which, as you can probably guess, adds in Finland, where you will do a lot of flying, actually, as well as two cars, the 2001 Ford Focus WRC, as well as the 2001 Subaru Impreza WRC. The bug-eyed Scoobaroo is here in Dirt Rally. Alongside the Finnish stages as well as the two cars, there is now a new handling model available on a large variety of the vehicles within Dirt Rally, as well as a couple of other things, including what I would consider the biggest of the bunch. Mouse support is now available within Dirt Rally, which means that you can navigate the menus with the mouse. Sorta. While yes, you can use the mouse to navigate the menus, sometimes you still need to go back to the keyboard to press a button to get out of one of the menus or get into the car and actually start driving. So it's kind of sort of there, but not really. This is something that they're going to be working on and fixing, I believe, in the future, and improving the mouse support in general. But as for now, you're probably still going to want to use the keyboard, but at least steps are being made to fix that issue. Anyways, on to the meat and potatoes of this update. First things first, the skin that you see on this Focus is actually a third-party mod skin. You have to go ahead and install it into your game. You can find a link down in the description. It's not included with the game, probably for licensing reasons or something like that. However, the guy who made this skin made it replace the default blank white Focus skin that was already in the game. So, no loss there. So go ahead and get this skin because you need to have it if you're going to drive the Focus. It's only right after all, as well as the fact that I am using a third-party camera setting file to position the dashboard that you'll see a little bit later with the Scoobaroo. So anyways, besides that, let's talk about Finland. There really isn't much that needs to be said about these stages because just the simple fact that you can say it's Finnish rally stages. I mean, that basically sums it up for pretty much anyone and everybody who's watching this video, hopefully. And those who don't understand what that means probably shouldn't be watching this video in the first place. You probably accidentally clicked on something wrong and ended up in the weird part of YouTube again. So just go ahead and hit that back button in your browser. It's the Finnish rally. Stages are really obscenely fast, ridiculous, ludicrous speeds through the forest, bumps, jumps, and yumps. You know, even a couple of launch pads, for crying out loud. And at the same time, you have so many corners that are on top of hills, on top of crests, or with a crest in the middle of it. You know, it's a totally unique challenge, and how can you not like it? If you don't like these stages, you don't like rally racing at all. I mean, there's no way you can hate on these stages. It just can't be done. Cannot be done, will not be done, and anybody who trying to do otherwise should be considered a Rallycross fanboy. Anyways, on to the cars. The 2001 Ford Focus WRC and the 2001 Impreza WRC both come into a new class, the 2000s class, and while you might think, oh hey, these things weigh about the same as the 2010 cars that were already available in the game, they both have 300 horsepower, what's the difference? After driving these things, I have to say, there's actually a pretty noticeable difference between the two. And I may be mistaken here, but I do believe it's just down to the difference in the rules, allowing the older cars, the 2000s class cars, to have a little bit more torque, a little bit more grunt, while having a little bit less grip through tire technology advancements and things like that. Honestly, I did some testing back and forth after this update with the handling updates and everything that has happened, but driving the Focus WRC just puts a big old smile on my face. It's just so right for me. And then I tried driving out the Fiesta RS, the 2010 car, 2010 class car, I guess I should say, and it just was so incredibly boring, to tell you the truth. I really like both the Focus and the Impreza. Just a heck of a lot of fun. You know, I think it feels right to me, you know. The 2010s class cars are so boring, so dull, so drab, whereas, you know, especially the Focus, it feels a little bit more lively, a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more engaging. And I also have to say, for one reason or another, I don't know what it is, it's just largely down to luck, I'm going to say. It seems like my co-driver callouts when I'm driving the Focus or the Subaru are just pretty much spot on. It's to the point where I actually have confidence in what the co-driver's saying and when those notes are being delivered for once, which is fantastic to see. Plus, for me personally, I used to watch rally racing a lot back in the early 2000s before a certain French guy came along and basically dominated and drove everybody else away. So cars like this are the WRC cars that I'm a fan of. So, honestly, wasn't really looking forward to more cars in this game. Didn't really need more cars in this game. But if you're going to go about it, Codemasters, I certainly will not complain about these cars being added into the game. Heck of a lot of fun. You know, I personally prefer the Focus. It's a little bit more lively, a little bit more engaging. But the Subaru is not a bad choice either. Plus, I mean, it's the bug-eyed Impreza. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. How can you not like it? Again, it's simple as that. This update should just be classified as how can you not like it. Okay, let's transfer away from the content and into the version 2 handling, which is a new reworked handling model which has been included for the 60s, 70s, 80s rear-wheel drive and 2010 classes with a major engine and downforce rework to make the cars more dynamic. That's quoting directly from Codemasters there. In actual application, I would say that description is pretty dang accurate. I've actually been going through and testing out some of the cars and reevaluating them, and that's why this video has actually taken so long to get around to. But one of the things I did in particular was I restarted my career mode, just for the heck of it, really. But you know, that caused me to go back and drive the 60s cars without any of the upgrades or anything like that. And you know, there's that corner on one of the Greek rally stages. It's a hairpin, in this case, hairpin uphill, round the tree. It has the really specific call out. If you're familiar with this game, if you played that stage, you certainly know what corner I'm talking about because it's just that one corner that is hairpin around tree. But beforehand with the 60s cars, for example, you could just go in there, lift the throttle, crank the steering wheel in, and the car would just die. You know, it would fall on its face. It would slow down in an instant like you had basically deployed a giant parachute out the back of the thing. Now it actually goes into the corner and you actually need to use your brakes. And yet, yeah, you can still chuck the car in there and you can still slide around, but that's also because of the fact that the car goes like 50 miles an hour tops anyways. You know, the difference in the handling and especially the braking distances as well as the engine response at low speed definitely seems like a big step forward in the right direction. And of course, on the Tarmac side of things, this update also has an effect, and it does pretty much the same exact thing. It really just makes everything more fun to drive and more convincing to drive as well. You know, for example, the front-wheel drive cars, driving the 60s cars again, you know, yeah, the Fulvia still has no brakes on Tarmac, which is pretty fun going downhill at Monte Carlo when you have some of those sections where you're coming into a hairpin downhill and you're like, oh crap. But, you know, it's definitely an improvement. You know, driving that Fulvia around Monte Carlo, I was actually just using some lift-off oversteer to get the car turned around the corners and actually going from corner to corner in a much nicer way than beforehand, where it kind of had this thing where the body was like pivoting and hippity-hoppiting on top of the suspension, even though the suspension was incredibly stiff yet is really soft. Just that really bizarre handling that is really difficult to explain, but was there. And I think a lot of people kind of understand what I'm saying, even though that description made absolutely zero sense, and I know it. So that's pretty much that as to the things I'd like to talk about in this video. You can find the full list down below with everything else in there. There are a couple of other things I haven't talked about because they're not really as big of features or anything like that. But yeah, Dirt Rally. It took a step forward in pretty much every regard while adding in one of the most epic rallies in the world, and that can only be a good thing. It can only be a good thing. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.
Keep left over long track, jump AB 40. Caution right 6. 40, crest 14. Keep right through this, crest. Crest, left 4, pines over bumps past junction, 60, left 4 long, opens and continues past junction, and crest bump, and right 4 long, and left 6 over crest, 80, right 6, don't cut, left 5 over crest jump maybe, and right 6 through dip off junction crest, left 5 into crest, right 6 don't cut, left 5 over crest, 40 through dip, keep right over crest jump maybe, right 6 through dip, crest 60 right 3 and crest, left 6 over 100, middle over crest jump, right 4, 60, left 5 over crest jump, 80, left 3 half long over crest past junction, crest, 100, left 3 opens over crest, 80, right 6 over crest jump, 80, left 4 half long, into crest, right 3 long, crest, right 3 long, crest, and crest, 100, left 6 on crest, don't cut, 40, right 4 keep in,